Hi there, welcome back to my views and news. Three new stories. Firstly, an earthquake happened last night in and around Addis Ababa at around 2:45 p.m. local time. Addis Ababa residents woke up. Tremors felt this time were stronger than previous earthquakes. Several earthquakes have been recorded in Addis in the last few days. Secondly, viewers, Tigrayan opposition parties have held a meeting with the generals of Tigray. Generals who are being accused of supporting TPLF, Debrecen group. Which opposition parties met? What did they say to the channels? Last, it was fighting on Ethiopia-Kenya border being reported. 5 Ethiopians have been killed in the last 2 to 3 days. What happened? Is it linked to Ethiopia-Kenya military operation against Ola? No, it is not linked to the joint military operation against the Oromo Liberation Army. It's another issue. Let's start from Addis Ababa, viewers, where last night another earthquake was recorded at 2:44 a.m. local time. Addis Ababa residents felt strong tremors. Of earthquake people got up, and some just fled the buildings where they are living. In different parts of the capital city, earthquake tremors were felt. Earthquake was felt not just in Addis Ababa, but in the Afar region too, in Shoa Robit, Debre Birhan, North Shoa zone of the Amhara region too. People felt the tremors. The earthquake was centered around 60 kilometers northwest of Addis Ababa, the capital city. Its magnitude was 5.3. This is what international earthquake monitoring agencies are reporting. It's one of the strongest in recent days. 5.3 is definitely a high magnitude, though still, if it crosses 5.5, reaches somewhere closer to 6, that could be deadly. People are in shock, by the way. They say that the last night's earthquake was very strong and the tremors were strongly felt in the capital city. It seems there is no end to these earthquakes, and after every few days, the residents experience an earthquake. They fear that if the intensity, if the magnitude rises, it tosses 5.5, Addis Ababa could be in trouble. Government people obviously have no control over earthquakes. They cannot stop earthquakes. They can only warn people. They can conduct emergency evacuation drills. They can just provide awareness to the people how to protect themselves if earthquake happens. And those who are living in the areas where earthquake is centered, they are being relocated from there. I think around 100,000 have been displaced from the far region in recent months because of these earthquakes. Let's hope, let's pray that the magnitude of these earthquakes remains below 5 or around 5, because once it starts crossing 5.5, that could be deadly. So far, no news of any major losses, human losses, injuries, or property losses. Secondly, our second news story is about a meeting between Tigray opposition parties and Tigray generals. Varede, Tadase Varede, and Fisseha Manjos attended this meeting. Varede is head of military, head of peace and security in head of he is deputy president of the region. Fisseha is head of security office, peace and security office in Tigray. Opposition parties met with them. Batona was there, reportedly. Tigray Independence Party was there. Tigray Arena Party was there. I think 4 or 5 party representatives met with the Tigray generals. These parties, by the way, have been criticizing the military, accusing the military of supporting the Bratskian group. They rejected the military statement when the military called for restructuring of Tigray interim government, and military back then backed the Congress held by TPLF, the Bratskian group. 3 main issues were raised by the opposition parties at the meeting with generals. Firstly, they said that illegal mining must be stopped. Though a ban has been imposed on gold mining in different parts of Tigray, but is the ban being implemented or not? No one knows. These parties, especially TIP, they've been accusing TPLF that its people are involved in illegal gold mining and gold smuggling. Military has not been able to stop gold mining and gold smuggling. Why? People say military is complicit in these activities. Secondly, they called for accountability against those who committed atrocities against people in Saharti Samre Warada, where 3 days ago, military opened fire at the people in Saharti Samre Warada in Addis Kabyle. Military dismantled an interim administrative setup established there by Tigray interim government of Getachew. Military claimed that it was at the request of the people that it intervened in Addis Kabyle. Getachew government condemned it, demanding action against the military colonel Hagos Gabre, who took action and who opened fire at people in Sarthi Samne. What are the opposition parties are condemning military's role, demanding accountability. Thirdly, they asked the military to ensure their impartiality, to ensure its impartiality, saying that military should not be a tool for achieving political objectives by a group in Tigray. So military should ensure that it is impartial in Tigray's internal politics. And they asked military to take action against some commanders on lower level who are taking sides with the Bratskian group. So this is what happened. Opposition parties are with Getachew Reda. They reject military support for the Bratskian group. At the same time, one of these parties has been calling for establishment of an inclusive transitional government. They say that some of these parties say that the government in Tigray is not representative, it is not inclusive. It should have representatives from across the board. What will generals do? 10 days have passed since they began a meeting. No announcement so far. They're holding discussions internal with opposition parties. They did not attend Pretoria implementation talks in Addis Ababa. They were not there. Sadkan, Varede, no one was there. Only Getachew, the Bratskian, went to Addis Ababa. Generals were not there. So what are they doing? What are they up to? Speculations going around. Let's wait. Lastly, viewers, at least 5 Ethiopians have been killed in clashes on Ethiopia-Kenya border. It's not linked to Ethiopia-Kenya joint operation against Ola. We must be clear. Turkana is the territory on Kenyan side of the border, which shares border with Ethiopia. On Ethiopian side, Dasinach is the territory which is in South Omo zone of Ethiopia, which shares border with Turkana zone of Kenya. So Turkana, Kenya shares border with Dasinach, Ethiopia. Pastoralists live in the area, and I think they freely move across the border. The pastoralists use the water of Lake Turkana, which is on Kenyan side of the border. Kenyans cross the river, Kenyans cross the border too, and I think they are involved in fishing activities in Omo River. According to Ethiopian residents of the area, Kenyan pastoralists of the area, they've been crossing the border and stealing fishing boats, fishing nets of Ethiopians in Dasinach. Fishing activities are intensifying these days. Activities are on the rise because Omo River now is filled with water. So increased fish production is happening. That is why Kenyans cross the border and they try to involve in fishing activities. Ethiopians accuse them of stealing fishing equipment of Ethiopian residents. So that led to start of clashes. In the clashes, 5 Ethiopians have been killed in the last 3 days. Clashes ongoing for the last 3 days, reportedly. Some meetings have been held, relative calm in the area since this morning, but deaths of 5 Ethiopians are being confirmed. This is how borders are in most parts of Ethiopia. I raised questions about the way Puntland, Somaliland are deporting Ethiopians, saying they are living illegally there. But people move across borders freely, and sometimes they don't have any documents. So if you start taking action on the people just because they cross the border, perhaps it won't be possible to take such action. Otherwise, people living in border areas will suffer a lot because their livelihoods depend on movement across the border. Thank you for watching.